Will Moira McTaggart ultimately be the thing that undoes Krakoa as a nation? Well, let's hop into the pages of X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 4, the penultimate issue, and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join this issue, we're actually able to step on into the future and see what exactly brought that time-traveling phalanx Wolverine back to the present. It would seem that at some point in this possible future, the dream that is Krakoa was ultimately undone and the island was attacked by Sentinels. Someone had very clearly betrayed mutantkind, but they couldn't exactly be certain. It was for all these reasons and more, Forge concocted a plan with Old Man Logan, well, older at the time, but not that Old Man Logan, to go back in time and find out who exactly sold out mutantkind. The idea being that the very same portal tech that allows mutants to travel anywhere on Earth and throughout the Milky Way galaxy would probably be able to travel through time as well, with some small future modifications. Of course, Wolverine never got to make the time jump right away, as at that very moment he and Forge come under attack by Sentinels. We then jump forward an even further time into the future, to about where House of X and Powers of X ended originally, with the last mutants kept in some sort of alien zoo before what is left of Earth ends up getting absorbed by the Phalanx. Now, if you've been paying attention, you probably don't need me to tell you that Moira was actually the one who sold out mutantkind in Krakoa, a kind of poetic irony that the same woman who thought to create an island nation to save mutantkind was ultimately willing to destroy everything she helped build after they cast her out of paradise. In fact, Moira talks about how her entire school of thought has changed completely, and that the only way to achieve true immortality, both for mutants and for mankind, is to shred everything organic and physical and instead reach that next level of evolution by becoming one with the machines. Wolverine gets infected by the Phalanx and left for dead, but it's right around here he springs his ultimate final Hail Mary play. Using the special Krakoan seed that Forge made for him all those years ago, Wolverine finally manages to open a portal and quantum leap to the past. And it's after that the story finally picks back up in the present. Phalanx Wolverine, joined by Laura, Gabby, and Daken, make their way to Dr. Chocladier's lab. The big hope being if they can stop the Doctor from upgrading Moira now, then maybe they will be able to save Krakoa and all of mutantkind in the future from Judgment Day. I mean, from Sentinels. Although, maybe also Judgment Day, because that's going to be Marvel's big summer event this year. Unfortunately, by the time Wolverine and his family get there, Chocladier is no help. Moira is gone now and ready for her big final assault on Krakoa. Logan, if nothing else, does choose to guilt this guy a little bit, telling him in excruciating detail how all of his friends, his family, and the people he loved will die at the hands of Sentinels and Nimrod one day. And that even if he played a small part in all of it, it is still kinda his fault. It's also here we end up finding an interesting fact too. The only reason that the Phalanx hasn't fully completely taken over Wolverine and turned him into a robot hybrid is because his healing factor has been keeping the whole thing at bay. But here's the grim twist to that, it also means his healing factor is weaker now, meaning that this Phalanx Wolverine could potentially die and stay dead if he gets hurt bad enough. So Moira plans to go to Krakoa and take revenge on everyone who wronged her, but how exactly is she going to do that? She's not a mutant anymore, so it's not like she can just walk through any gate she wants. Well, it turns out she has a plan for that too, one that is equal parts simple and totally freaking grisly. You see, Moira actually manages to get Banshee to come and meet her, the two actually having a long-standing history with one another, and Banshee, despite everything bad that Moira has done, still considers her a friend and wants to help her. Especially now, considering that she's sick and dying. How does Moira repay this friendship? Oh, she just kills Banshee, guts him, and then wears his skin like a suit so she can walk through a gate. That is horrifying and yet also genius in its simplicity. I'm shocked no other X-Men villain has actively tried to do that before, but I guess none of them have been this desperate before. Moira raids Forge's workshop in hopes of trying to get that mutant nullifier weapon that was used on her at the end of Inferno, the thought being, hey, if it can take powers away, maybe it can give them back. Only those hopes end up getting dashed pretty much right away by Forge, who says that the weapon was only ever intended to work one way, and in her anger, Moira decides to turn the weapon on Forge, stealing his mutant abilities as well. Which is one of those things that makes you wonder, if Forge doesn't have his mutant powers anymore, would he be able to help Wolverine with his own time travel plan in the future? I mean, Phalanx Wolverine doesn't stop existing, so I guess no. Moira also has a really brief but memorable showdown with Professor X, again, a man that it's been implied several times before that she was in a romantic relationship with. Heck, they even have a kid together who we don't see that often. In classic Professor X fashion, he tells Moira that she's going to have to take a number because he's too busy dealing with Mikhail Rasputin and everything that's going on over in the X Lives of Wolverine book. Enraged by this newest turn of events, Moira decides to take one of the war suits from Forge's workshop and go and get a little revenge on Destiny. After all, Moira only had one rule for her island nation, and that was no precogs. Once Destiny was resurrected and broke that rule, it was basically all downhill for Moira and her rule after that, meaning that she blames Destiny more than just about anyone else for everything bad that's happened to her. The family Wolverine manages to swoop on in and make the save, but unfortunately Phalanx Wolverine is horribly injured in the battle, meaning that his healing factor is no longer able to stave off the Phalanx infection. And it's on that very nail-biting note the comic comes to a close, and so that was X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 4, everybody, and ultimately I would say between this and Lives, this one continues to be the better one. The stakes are certainly higher, and even if the main story points are basically just all the good parts from Terminator all rolled up into one, it's still pretty enjoyable. I do have some problems mainly with Moira's continually shifting motivations. First she wants to escape Krakoa, then she wants to get back, then she wants her powers, then she wants revenge on Destiny, but we know that doesn't last because in the future she apparently wants to join with the machines. It's just a lot to take in, and it's a little all over the place, especially considering that Inferno had ended Moira's story on such a clean note. Now we have an entire event that muddies the water. Don't get me wrong, there is something grimly ironic, maybe even poetic about the idea of a woman who swore to save mutantkind by living multiple lives, now using what little life she has left to try and end them all. But part of me just cannot shake the feeling that straight up megalomaniacal villain Moira is less interesting than mysterious, morally ambiguous puppet master Moira. But those are at the end of the day some very personal complaints. Overall though, I would give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's stronger than X Lives, and if you're going to pick one, you should definitely read this one. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me and the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.